Welcome to Humble Warrior Yoga. I'm Caroline, and today we're going to be doing a full body flow. So we're going to be hitting all the major muscle groups and using every part of the body. So when you're ready, we're going to head on down to our mats. So coming down to the back, keeping the knees bent, feet are hip width apart. Just dropping the arms down the sides, or you can rest the hands on the belly. And closing the eyes for a few moments. We're just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Taking a few moments just to adjust. Just transition away from what you were doing before. Now see if you can find that equal parts breathing. So we're making the inhalations and the exhalations equal in length. You can count in your head to help. So you could be breathing in for a count of 4 and out for a count of 4. Just try and make sure that your breath isn't too laboured. So if 4 is too long, you can just breathe in for 3 or even 2. Just whatever feels best for your breath today. Nice. And you can gently back the eyelids open. So staying exactly where we are, arms down by the sides if they're not already. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to peel the pelvis back, lifting it off the mat, rolling up through the spine. Just coming to the bottoms of the shoulder blades. You can inhale at the top and slowly start to roll all the way back down. See if you can really articulate through the spine. If you can plant one vertebra down at a time. Inhale. And exhale, rolling all the way back up. Really slowly. Really get some movement into the spine. Inhaling at the top. And exhale, back down with control. Once more. Exhale as you lift the hips and the pelvis off the mat, rolling all the way up. Inhale at the top and exhale, slowly rolling all the way back down. Great. So keeping the arms where they are, you're going to float the right shin up so that it's parallel with the ceiling, and then the left. You can place your hands onto the lower belly or keep them down by the sides. You're going to take an inhale and send the right thigh away from you. So you're drawing the toes down towards the floor. Maybe they reach the floor, and tap. Exhale, bring the leg back up. Inhale, other side, send the leg away, and exhale to come back up. If that's a bit too much on your lower back, just don't bring the leg out as far. You can just make small movements, still doing the same work. And if you feel like you need more of a challenge, you can bring the hands behind the head, keeping the elbows wide, and just lift the head and chest up so you're on your shoulder blades. Just makes it a little bit more intense. Inhaling as you send the leg away, exhaling as it comes back. So we're just waking up the deep abdominals. Not the sort of six-pack abs that we think of, deeper layer of muscles underneath. So they sort of wrap around the whole of the spine, keeping us stable and keeping the spine safe. And just do one more on each side. Nice, and then draw both knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug, maybe a little rock from side to side. Then bring the hands to the knees. We're going to start to make some big circles. So taking the knees away from you, take them away from each other, circle them around down towards the chest, and taking them away again. Just starting to get some movement into the hips. And again, if that feels a bit intense, you just make smaller circles. Good. Now take those in the opposite direction. Keep going with your breath. Nice. Draw the thighs in towards you. See if you can take hold of the outer edges of the feet and then kick the feet up towards the sky. Drawing the knees down to the outside of the ribs. If that's not possible for you today, you can always just hold on to the back of the thighs and work there. Or maybe you can reach the shins or the ankles. And the knees want to be drawing down towards the outside of the ribs. Maybe you could gently rock here from side to side. We don't want to rock too much because we don't want to topple over. Just massaging the lower back and try and lengthen the tailbone down towards the mat. We don't want to be lifting the pelvis off the ground. Great. And then bring the hands at the backs of the thighs, and you're either going to rock and roll your way up. You can rock and roll down the length of your spine a few times. Try and keep the toes off the ground, engage them abdominals. Or if we're not feeling that today, you can just roll onto one side and push all the way up. So whichever option you've chosen, we'll meet on all fours. So we're coming to all fours, hands are shoulder width apart, spread the fingers wide. You want the index and the middle finger pointing forwards. Hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the wrists. See if you can find that neutral spine. So we're not dropping the belly, and we're not rounding through the spine. We want a nice neutral spine. Just bend the elbows slightly and then press away. So we're trying to fill that space here between the shoulder blades. So we're actively pressing away from our mats and we're actively engaging everything. Take an inhale, and as you do, lift the tailbone up towards the ceiling. The belly will drop down, allow the chest to come forwards. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, look forwards. As you exhale, you're going to curl the tailbone back down towards the ground, rounding up through the spine and allow the head to come down. And really press into the space between the shoulder blades. Notice the shoulder blades gliding away from each other. Inhale, take it back the other way. Tailbone lifts, belly drops, chest comes forwards. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, rounding back through. Do one more each way with your own breath. Nice. I'm going to start to make some circles with the hips. So bump the hips over to the right, circle them back down towards the heels, round to the left and then coming forwards. So nice big circular movements. If that's a bit hard on the wrist today, just don't come as far forwards. You can start to integrate some movement in the shoulders as well. Just doing what feels good here. I'm going to take those circles in the opposite direction. Nice. Come back to a neutral position. Just going to walk the hands forwards so we can come down to our bellies. You're going to bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. And press into the forearms, press into the palms. If that's uncomfortable on the lower back, you can just take the feet out a little wider. And think of drawing the shoulder blades together and pulling the chest forward. So keep the neck nice and long, so we don't need to be cranking our necks to look up. Just look a few feet ahead of you. Pressing the pelvis into the ground, pressing the tops of the feet into the ground. And resist the urge to collapse into the shoulders here. We want to actively keep pressing away from our mats whilst keeping the shoulder blades down and away from the ears. And then just take the elbows out to the side so we can drop the chest back down. Bring the hands in line with the ribs and just press back up onto all fours. So we're coming back into our tabletop position. I'm going to tuck the right toes and slide the right leg out behind. And just rock back and forth here for a short while. Just lengthening out through the back of the leg. I'm going to float that leg up just to hip height. We don't want to lose our neutral spine. And if we feel quite stable here, we can take the left arm and extend that out. If we still feel okay, then we're going to lower and raise the arm and the leg. And really engage the core. If that feels like too much, you can drop the hand and just work on the leg. Right. And then drop that right leg. You're going to bring the right toes all the way over to the left. And turn to look past your left shoulder. So you're looking towards your foot. Feeling a nice stretch through the side body. And coming all the way back to centre. Raise that right leg again. Bend into the knee and press the foot up towards the ceiling. And if you're able to, you can take your left hand, grab a hold of the foot and kick the foot away. So we're using that kicking motion to open up through the chest. If that's too much, keep the hand down and just work on kicking the foot up. So it's okay to allow the spine to arch. And drop that leg back down. I'm just going to do all that on the other side. Tucking the left toes, extend the leg out. Just stretch out through the back of the leg. And then floating that leg up. You can either be here, working on lower and raising the leg. So extend that left arm out. And raising and lowering both. We're challenging our balance, using our core muscles to keep us stable. Just one more. And bring the palm back down. I'm going to walk the left toes all the way over to the right side of the mat. Turn to look past the shoulder. Just seeing if you can see your foot stretching through the side body. And come back to centre. Extend the leg back again. Bend into the knee, pushing the foot up. We're either stopping here or extending the right hand behind, grabbing hold of the foot and kicking away. Should feel a really good stretch through the front of the body, across the chest, and probably the quads as well. Don't forget to breathe. And bring everything back to centre. Take the knees out wide as the mat, bring the big toes to touch. Sit back towards the heels. Reach the arms out in front, lower the head and the chest. Just take 3 breaths here. Just breathing into the back body. See if you can notice the ribs expand, front, back and sides. And slowly work your way back onto all fours. And from here, you're going to take the right foot, step it forward between the hands into a low lunge. Keep the left palm down on the ground and take the right arm out in front. And then start to circle it all the way up and back and around. We're getting some movement into the shoulders. It's okay if you can feel crunching or any little sounds. And next time the arm comes all the way to the top, we're going to hold it there, twisting towards that right leg. And breathe and bring that right palm back down. Then shift the hips back, so you want your hip to be roughly over the knee. So this front leg straightens and flex the knee, the toes towards the face. Take a breath and inhale, rolling forwards, and exhale, coming back. And just moving between those 2 positions. Maybe after a couple we can fold a little deeply over the leg. And coming back forwards. We're going to sweep the arms up overhead, sink the hips down, and take up as much space as you need with the shoulders. They don't have to be parallel overhead. You can take them into a wide V if that feels better for you. Deep breath here. And then bend the elbows, cactus the arms. So you want the elbows to be roughly in line with the shoulders. Really engage the muscles in the arms. And keep that going. Draw the elbows down behind. Allow the hands to come behind. Interlacing the hands behind the back. Draw the knuckles down and away. And maybe a small back bend here. And gently release. Bring everything back down. And step the right foot back. I'm just going to do that on the other side. So as you're ready, stepping that left foot forward between the hands, finding our low lunge. Keep the right palm on the ground, left arm extends forwards. We're going to make those circles on this side. So really allow your gaze to follow your hand round. So gentle twist. And next time the arm raises overhead, Keep it there. And twist towards that left leg. Now bring everything back to centre. So shifting the hips back, straightening that front leg, flex the toes. Folding over the leg. Inhale to come forwards, lift the chest. And exhale, coming back. Keep it going, don't stop moving. Maybe after a couple we're able to fold a little more deeply. And just one more. Coming back forwards. Taking the arms overhead again. See if you can sink the hips a little further forwards and down. Take up some space for the arms if you need to. And then cactus those arms. Bend the elbows, palms face each other. And then continue drawing the elbows down and behind. Take the hands behind. This time interlace the fingers the opposite direction. That's the way that feels a bit weird. Draw the knuckles down and away from the body. Maybe we can take a small back bend. But only if that feels good. And bring everything back down. Stepping that left foot back. Take the knees out wide and sit back towards the heels. Resting for a moment in our child's pose. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Press into the palms, lift the head and the chest. Just bring the knees in line with the hips. Tucking the toes under. And lift the knees off the mat. Push the hips up high and back. Into downward facing dog. And just start to pedal out the feet here. So we're straightening one leg whilst bending the other. And alternating. Make any small movements that feel good. Maybe you need to wiggle the hips a little. Maybe you need to move your shoulders. Just listen to your body and what it's asking for. And then come to stillness. Extend the right leg out behind. Keep the toes pointing down so the hips are square and level. Bend the knee, draw it in towards the chest. Step it all the way between the hands at the front of the mat. If that's not accessible to you, you're going to drop to the knees and step it forward into our low lunge. Tuck the back toes and lift the knee. So whichever way we got there, we're now runner's lunge. Keep the left palm down and take the right hand, slide it all the way up past the rib cage and extend the arm up. Easy twist. Try and keep the inner thighs drawing towards each other. And then bring that palm back down. I'm just going to pivot the back foot down so it's flat to the ground, coming out at a diagonal. And come all the way up to stand. I'm going to bend into that front knee. Arms overhead, finding warrior one. Take a couple of breaths here. Make sure we're engaging both legs equally. So pressing down through the outer edge of the back foot. Engaging the thighs. And bend the elbows, cactus the arms. Really engage the arms. And keep that motion going. Draw the elbows down and behind. Interlacing the hands behind the back. Draw the knuckles down and away. And as you exhale, folding forwards. So just come down as far as comfortable for you. So maybe we're here, or maybe you can come all the way down. Shoulder meets the knee. And extend the arms overhead, humble warrior. Breathing deeply. Just release the hands down to the ground. Pivot on that back foot so we're back onto the ball of the foot. Step the right foot back to meet the left. We're in high plank. Knees can be lowered or lifted. And shift the weight forward, bend the elbows and slowly with control, lower all the way to the belly. Keeping the hands in line with the ribs. Inhale, lift up, cobra. Exhale, coming back down. Take the hands off the mat. Make like an arch with your hand. Inhale, lifting back up, cobra. Exhale, back down. Once more, lifting up on an inhale. Exhale, back down. Bring the hands back in line with the ribs, tuck the toes. You are going to push back up onto your knees and then lift the hips. Or tucking the toes, press up into a plank, then back into downward facing dog. Take 3 long breaths here. And feel free to make any movements if you want to. We'll repeat that on the other side. So extending the left leg out behind. Keep the toes pointing down. Bend the knee, draw it in towards the chest. Stepping in between the hands at the front. So now runner's lunge. Keep the right hand down on the ground. The left hand sweeps up past the rib cage and extends. So we're twisting towards that left thigh. Don't let this left knee come out. We're keeping the legs active and engaged, drawing towards one another. Left palm comes back down. And just spin that back heel down. We're going to come all the way up to stand. We're bending into that front knee is over the front ankle, arms overhead, warrior one. Pressing down evenly through both feet. And bend the elbows, cactus the arms. And draw the elbows behind and interlacing the hands. This time the opposite way around. Draw the knuckles down and away. And exhale, we're folding forwards. So either we're just here over the leg, hovering. We can come all the way down, connecting the shoulder to the knee. Arms go overhead. And gently release the hands to the ground. Pivot on that back foot. Step the left foot back to meet the right, high plank. Knees lowered or lifted. Shifting the weight forward, lowering down. Forehead kisses the mat. We inhale, rise up, cobra. Exhale, down. Take the hands off the mat. Inhale. Exhale, back down. Once more. Inhaling up. Exhale, back down. Bring the palms by the ribs, tuck the toes, make your way back to downward facing dog. Have a little pedal out here. And then bring the knees back down to the mat. We're going to have a go at camel pose. A lot of people don't have that sort of flexibility in the upper back, so we're just going to try a few little variations. So we're starting kneeling, toes are tucked, lengthen up through the spine. We're going to start by placing the left hand onto the back of the thigh. Take the right arm up overhead, lifting the chest. So we're keeping the thighs and the hips pressing forward. Try to get the movement coming from the upper spine, so lifting the chest and back up. Try that on the other side. So bring the palm to the thigh first, extend the arm overhead, lift the chest. Nice. Back to centre. So we try that again, and this time we're going to try and reach for the left ankle. So take the arm overhead, lift the chest, start leaning back, pressing the hips forward, see if you can grab a hold of that heel. Lift the chest further. Back up to centre, the other side. Arm extends, see if you can reach that heel. Nice. If that's not accessible to you, go back to the original version. So bring the hand to the thigh, and just leaning back as much as you can. So just lifting through the chest. The arch will be in the upper spine rather than this lower part. Or you could just keep both hands on the thighs. Just work at lifting the chest. So whichever option that you've taken, we're still doing the same work. It's just other people's flexibility and range of motion is different. We're all completely different. So just one more to each side. Nice. And then from here, we're going to keep the toes tucked. We're going to bring the head down in front of the knees and extend the hands to the heels. Keeping the hips lifted. We're on the crown of our head. We're not applying too much pressure. Just kind of counteracts the camel pose that we just did. If that's just not for you, you can just untuck the toes, sit back towards the heels and bring the head down. Extend the arms behind you into a child's pose. Allow the spine to round. Relax the waist of the shoulders down. So whichever option you chose there, we'll all meet in a child's pose with our arms extended out in front. And when you get there, you're going to walk the hands over to one side of the mat. Walk them as far as you can. Stretching through the side body. 3 deep breaths here. And walking them back through centre and take it to the other side. Really see if you can make deep belly breaths. Feel the rib cage expanding. And coming back through centre. Press into the palms to come up. We're coming back to all fours. So bring the knees back underneath the hips. Extend the right arm out to the side and then draw it underneath the left arm. Pull it as far away as you can, coming down onto the shoulder, resting the ear onto the mat. You can either keep this left hand pressing into the palm for support, could extend it out in front, or you could bring it behind the lower back, reaching towards the right thigh. So pick an option that works for you. You should feel a nice stretch through the shoulder and the upper spine. Wherever you had your arm, bring the hand back to its original position, press into the palm to lift out, re-extend the arm out to the side, and then place it back down, other side. Left arm extends out, and draw it through underneath the right arm, coming down to rest on the ear. The right palm can stay where it is. Extend out in front or behind the back. Depends how intense you like it to be. Wherever you had your arm, bring it back to its original position, press into the palm to come out. We're just going to sit back towards the heels and swing the legs out in front. So sitting up tall, I'm going to bring the right leg in towards you. You can either keep it on the inside of the left leg or cross it over. It's entirely up to you. Extend the left arm overhead. Inhale and exhale. See if you can hook the elbow around the thigh. Right arm goes behind for a twist. So either here, we can have the leg on this side, or just gently holding wherever we can reach. With every inhale, see if you can lengthen a little more through the spine. And every exhale, see if you can twist a little deeper. And back to centre. We're just going to switch sides. So bending that left knee. I'm going to keep it on the inside of the right leg, or cross it over. Right arm extends as we find length through our spine. And exhale to twist over to the left. Sitting up nice and tall through the spine. And there's no need to try and look over your shoulder. You don't need to crank the neck to look backwards. So we're not applying too much pressure in this supporting hand, it is just there for support. You should be able to lift it away and maintain that length through the spine. Nice, coming back to centre. Bend the knees, bring the feet flat to the ground, arms out in front. I'm going to slowly lower all the way down to our backs. So with control, engage those abs one last time for me. You can lower all the way down, one vertebra at a time. Nice. When you get there, just draw the knees in towards the chest. Just have a little rock. Nice. Bring the soles of the feet back to the ground. I'm going to bring the left ankle, cross it over the right knee. It's called a figure 4 stretch or reclined pigeon pose. Keep the toes of the left foot flexed and rather stopping here. Maybe you can lift the right leg off the ground, interlace the hands behind the right thigh and draw the knees in a little closer. Should feel really good on the glutes and the outer hip. Really deep breaths here. One more breath. And bring everything back down. Uncross the legs and we'll do that on the other side. So taking the right ankle over the left thigh. You can either stay here. We can lift that leg and interlace the hands behind the thigh. have lifted the leg, just try and make sure that that right knee doesn't come in too close to the chest. You want to keep it pressing away. Keeping the toes of the right foot active. Nice. And gently release and unravel. Keeping the knees bent, you're going to take the feet out as wide as the mat. Arms out by the sides. And you're just going to drop the knees over to one side for a spinal twist. If you'd like it to be a little more intense, you can take the ankle and cross it over the knee. Try and keep both shoulder blades grounded down. You don't want the shoulder to lift off the mat. If it does lift off, you've gone a little bit too far, just back out. Slowly unravel. Engage the core as you bring the legs back up to centre. And take that same twist to the other side. So either stay in here, or we can lift that top leg, ankle over the knee. One more deep breath here. And gently unravel, engage the core, bring the legs back to centre. I'm going to extend the legs out long, take them as wide as your mat. Let the feet fall open to the sides, take the arms out wide, palms facing upwards. If you need to make any little small movements, just get them out of the way so you're not fidgeting during relaxation. Closing down the eyes for our Shavasana. And take a few moments to scan through the body. Are there any areas where you're holding on to tension still? See if you can start with the head and work your way right the way down to the feet. Are you holding any tension in the forehead or maybe the jaw? See if you can soften just a little more. Allow the shoulders to sink into the floor. Allow the fingertips to just naturally curl in. See if you can relax the legs a little more. Just know that there's no more work to be done. Give yourself the permission to fully relax here. Allowing the breath to return to its own natural rhythm. If you have the time, I encourage you to stay here a while longer. Otherwise, you can start to bring some small movement into the fingers, the toes, maybe rocking the head from side to side, just reawakening the body. Take the arms overhead for a full body stretch. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Just have a little rock from side to side. Or rolling over onto one side. the hands to press all the way back up to a seat. And bringing the hands together in front of the heart space. And bow the head. Namaste. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more content, just like this video, subscribe to my channel for notifications of new videos. Have a great day.